I went out to dinner with my husband. I'm like, I got something to tell you. And he probably was like, what?
He's like, what's going on?
Like, because I was like so serious. And I'm like, I'm selling on TikTok. like I had a deep dark secret. But I'm like, and I made like $423 today. And he's like, keep doing it. I just made $100. Like, how is that even possible? And again, like I had never even used TikTok.
All right, you guys, welcome into another episode of the Live Academy podcast. We have a very special guest today. Bridget, she brings a ton of knowledge from other industries, and she's been absolutely crushing it on TikTok Shop so far. So, Bridget, thank you for joining us and welcome in.
Thank you for having me. This is nerve-wracking and fun. So, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. And I think just with your experience so far on TikTok Shop and then just with business in general, I think you'll be able to provide a lot of value out there to just people that are watching. So super awesome that we're able to get to do this. To get started, I guess, how did you get into or find out about TikTok Shop?
Yeah, I think it's funny because I think my journey is a lot like probably other people, is just kind of searching for maybe that side hustle or something. Had that entrepreneur spirit. I've been in corporate, then I left corporate because I was like, that's enough of that. Been an entrepreneur and was on Amazon back when Amazon was like easy and fun and profitable. And since left. And then it was like, I was searching for something else and I became an Amazon affiliate, like the social, you could do the reviews of the products. And I was like, this is really hard. Like, I was like, wow, I made $1 today. Like, I mean, it was really hard for me. So I was like, and then at the same time, I'm like, again, I like knowledge. I like learning. So, and sometimes that can be something that gets in my way of actually making progress. But I was searching YouTube for how to become a better Amazon affiliate. And someone was talking about TikTok Shop. Like, this is the new frontier. And I started going down that rabbit hole of watching TikTok. And I literally never had TikTok downloaded on my phone. I never used TikTok until the day I got TikTok and I started making like TikTok Shop videos. Like, because I have an e-commerce business, so I could start right away because I already have a business. So I started doing TikTok Shop videos in February 26th of this year.
That's awesome. So you and I pretty much have almost the same introduction to TikTok Shop because, I've been, into entrepreneurship for a long time, started different businesses, this type of thing. And like you, I was kind of like looking for a side hustle or just looking for something. I was on YouTube, somehow came across TikTok Shop videos on YouTube, went down the rabbit hole. I was like, this seems like a pretty good idea. And, I think I started at a similar time to you too. So that's awesome. Then you said you're in e-commerce as well. So you're doing TikTok Shop, kind of full time, and then you have your other businesses as well, or how much time are you spending on TikTok Shop?
So it was really, I had an FBA Amazon business and I kind of shut that down, but I still had old product still sitting in like a self-storage unit. And so that's why I was like, you know what, maybe I can get rid of all this old, inventory I had and sell it on TikTok Shop. Like, that was kind of like how I thought about it. Not even necessarily like selling other people's products, but I was like, and my husband's like, that's a great idea. Like, we can like get rid of all that stuff and not pay for, storage anymore.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like how I started, the idea of TikTok was selling my own stuff. I don't do that. And I quickly learned that on TikTok, it was more about, finding really good trending products and things like that versus just my own leftover crap that no one wants. So I within a week or two, I was like, yeah, that's probably not the path I'm going to take on TikTok, but that's how I started.
Okay, awesome. So initially you're like, I'm just going to sell my old inventory and clear it out. We can, not have to pay for the storage and not have to think about that anymore. Then you're like, okay, maybe it's just better to sell other people's products. That may be just more profitable and more worth my time to kind of go down that path there instead. Okay, awesome. So you started TikTok Shop, I guess, end of February, first week or so, you're like, Let's get rid of this inventory. Realized pretty quickly, hey, maybe this isn't the best route with TikTok, but there's definitely some potential here. So at that point, did you start making videos or did you start doing lives or what kind of did that look like?
I did. I started making videos. And again, like I had never even used TikTok prior to
Yeah.
that. I didn't even have the app. And so I was like, okay, looking what are people selling? And at the time, I think you and I started around the same time. It was like that Shilajit resin was
Yeah.
huge at the time. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I have no idea what this is, but I'm going to order it and I'm going to see what I can, you know what I mean? Because I was like, just a bunch of grumpy old men selling it. Like, what if I sold it? Like, I could maybe bring something new to the table. And so I was like, that was like, okay. And I didn't, I mean, again, I had hardly any followers because it was a business account. Like, it wasn't, and at that time you could sell other people's stuff other than your own business. So I started, doing that. And then I realized, making the videos is good. But I also felt like it was like walking into the casino and just pulling the slot machine. And sometimes you would hit and sometimes you didn't. And I always felt like the house always wins that game. Like I'm going to put in a lot more effort than I'm going to get in return if I just play the video game, the videos. And so I went on and did a live and people were like, how are you live? Like, what's going on? Because I didn't have hardly any
Yeah.
followers at the time. Like, so everyone was like, how are you live? And I literally sold the Shilajit resin and I made like $100, like commission in like, you know, 35 minutes. Cause I was like, hurry up. Okay. Just push live. Like I was so scared. And then like, as soon as like, I like got a little nervous, I was like, I'm done. I'm off. I was like so scared. But then I like got off and then I looked at the screen, of like what I did. I'm like, I just made $100, like not sold $100 with like, how is that even possible? So I got the bug and I literally told, this is so fun. I never even told anyone in my family. Like I was doing it when my husband was going to work and my daughter was at school. I was like super secret. Like I was like, okay, everyone's out of the house. Okay, run into my office, like make a video or something. Because I was like, they're going to think I'm absolutely lost my mind if I tell them I'm selling on TikTok Shop.
Yeah, that's so funny. We definitely joined at the same time because when I started, She Legit was the first product I started going live with. Like, kind of did the trial and error with videos, didn't really do that well. Then She Legit, I was like, this is product that's selling really well. I'll go start going live with it. And so I started doing that, but I did not want anybody to be around. Like, I didn't want my wife or my son or anybody to be able to hear me while I'm live because it just felt
Yes.
weird. And my wife was like, this whole TikTok thing, at first she wasn't super enthusiastic about it, but it
Yes.
ended up, taking off pretty quickly, like, $100 in 30 minutes and you're just scared to be on there, but you still made $100 your first time, which is absolutely
Right.
insane. I'm sure once you saw that, you're like, okay, like this is serious. We can actually make some pretty good money doing this. I mean, I just made
Yeah, I just
$100 in a
thought
half
like
an hour.
totally like, and I didn't even know it because I didn't even know like one thing. I didn't even know how to check if you had made a sale. Like I saw people like at it, were looking at the product, but I had no idea what I was doing. And sometimes, you know, that was really good for me because like I said, I'm an overthinker. I will analyze it. I will be like, what is the strategy? And almost like, what do they call it? Like, analysis paralysis. Like
Yeah.
I'll get in my own way sometimes. And at this time I was like, you know what? No, who cares? No one, like I didn't show my face. It was like, no one's going to know. No one even knows I'm on TikTok. Like just see what happens. And I literally had no idea what I was doing. And then it kind of progressed and out of that product and moved into another product. And then I had like, I finally broke down because I was selling, another product and I made like $400 in commission in like an hour and a half on another product. And I was like, I gotta tell, like I went out to dinner with my husband. I'm like, I got something to tell you. And he probably was like, what?
He's like, what's going
What?
on?
Like, because I was like so serious. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta tell you something, hon. And I'm like, I'm selling gun like I had a deep dark secret. But I'm like, and I made like $423 today. And he's like, what are you talking, So I told him what I was doing and everything like that. And he's like, okay, like, keep doing it. So that was kind of like, what I didn't know was I was, one week I do one live and another week I would do another. Like, I mean, I was all over the place.
Yeah.
There's no strategy behind it at all.
Yeah, you're just like, hey, this is working, so I feel like going live. I feel like making some money. Let's hop on there and let's do this thing. So, okay, so you were kind of keeping it a secret, and then you're like, all right, I made $400 today. I have to tell my husband now. It's time, And he was probably like, damn, like $400, and you did it for what, an hour and a half or something, like not that much time if you break it down on an hourly basis. Like the money is pretty insane. So that's cool. How much do you know approximately how much you made in your first month of like doing TikTok shop? I guess outside of that first week where you're trying to sell your own stuff.
Yeah. So I was just looking at this and I was pulling it up. So like the first month, which had been like March, because I started right at the end of February and I just was doing the videos.
Mm-hmm.
I made $3,600 in commission. My
Okay.
first 30, and again, and it's funny because it didn't really hit until March 26th was really when things started to hit. So I'm like looking at the graph and I'm like, which is crazy. But for me, it was like, but I did do like almost 12,000 in live GMV. And again, those were some of those products were really starting to like, I was then going, okay, maybe the live thing is where it's at versus just doing videos, but I was still doing 3 videos a day also. Like I was trying
Wow.
to, do both of them.
Yeah. So
So,
was the 3,600, was that pretty much like all from lives, or was some of that video like rev or profit too?
there was, I'm sorry, say that again.
So you said within like the first month of doing TikTok
Yes.
shop, you made about 3,600 profit.
Yes,
And then
I
was
did.
that mainly from lives, or was that some of that from videos?
Most of it was from video. Yep.
Okay.
Most of it.
Okay.
So like the videos, well, so I'm looking at it like my videos was like 1,700 and my lives were like 11,000.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, 17,000 for the videos and about 11,000 for the lives. So it was kind of,
Okay.
I mean, it was more in the video, but like it wasn't too far off.
Yeah, like 60/30 or 60/40, excuse me,
Yeah.
somewhere in that range. And like honestly, for like your first month of doing something to make that much money is like pretty good, right? Like what other business do you
Yeah.
start with like zero expenses and just make $3,600 your first month?
Right. My expense was buying the Shilajit and like
Yeah.
another product. Like that was it. Like that was, my start again. And I was doing it all like, when everyone was out of the house and I wasn't spending a ton of time on it. So that's when I was like, okay, like if I would actually get serious about this could actually be kind of fun and profitable and make some good money at it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, okay, so you did 3,600 your first month. You're like, all right, this was very, very part-time, pretty like, didn't put a ton of energy into it. And then what kind of happened from there? Did you like start going, more full force the next month, or were you still kind of busy with other stuff, or kind of what was the
Well,
progression?
it's really interesting is like in April, personally, I had a really hard month. My family had a really tragic death in our family, and I basically did nothing the whole month of April. And so, and I think here's the good news and bad news is I was still making money off the videos. I basically didn't do anything in the month of April. But it's like I still was able to recover and come back at it at May. Like I could take some time off. And I think that's, for a lot of people don't think like, oh, well, I've got, we make excuses like, oh, well, I've got this coming up, or the holidays are coming up, or I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks. Oh, I'll do it later. Like, I just want to tell you, like, it's one of those things where I totally put my businesses aside in the month of February, the second month of doing it, and I've come back better than ever. Like, life happens. Like, and you
Yeah.
can't just like be like, oh, well, I can't do it because of XYZ reasons. I had a really tough month, and yet, like, my business is better than it's ever been. And I just think that you can't let those excuses get in your way. But yeah, so even like in the month of April, just again, I basically didn't do hardly anything, and I still did another, like, my live. So my live revenue, or GMV, in what I say, in March was like 12,000, and or almost like
Hmm.
11,000. In April, it was less than 1,000. Like, that's how much I had stopped working. But I still, videos were starting then to like take off. So I still did almost $3,400 in commission that month, and didn't work.
Wow. That's awesome. That's really nice to have that
So
passive income.
yeah, I mean, so it was just, like, again, I wish I would, because if I'm like, what would my business be like if I was doing lives this whole time? But
Yeah.
you can't do that. Like, there's,
Yeah, you'll drive yourself crazy if you're constantly thinking back
yeah.
and like, what if I would have done this? What if I would have done that? Because TikTok Shop, one of the beauties of it is you can kind of like pick it up and put it down and then resume later on. Like, I had a period as well, a month and a half, where I pretty much stopped doing it just because there was so many other things going on, and then came back in May stronger than ever. And now here I am
Hmm.
again taking a break from TikTok Shop with the Live
Right.
Academy stuff. And I'm sure when I start going full force again, it'll be just as good. Okay, so and then I guess early on, it sounds like you honestly kind of just picked it up pretty quickly. You're like, hey, figured out how to make some money with videos, figured out how to make some money with lives. If there were any, what were kind of your biggest struggles in the beginning of picking up the whole TikTok Shop thing?
Yeah, I think one, just lack of knowledge. I mean, it
Yeah.
really was, and lack of strategy and direction. And I was kind of winging it. And, um, and throwing spaghetti at the wall kind of thing was like, I don't know what's working, because there's so like little information back. You're like, well, I don't know. Is it, people are always like, oh, you have to post 5 times a day, or you post every other day, or you have to make sure, your videos so many seconds long, or you're using trending music. Like, it literally will drive you crazy with all
Yeah.
the different, strategies you can do it. And I was just like, I'm just going to do whatever. I wish I would have had more of a focus on the live part of it, because you don't need to have a huge following and still do really well with live, where that might not always, like I said, I feel like the videos can be kind of like walking into a casino and just trying your hand at the slot machine or whatever, where I think they're like, if you consistently do your lives, that's where you're going to, like, pretty much, you can make some money at it. Like,
Yeah.
I know that that's not a guarantee or anything like that, but if you're doing the lives versus the videos, because you can't control if YouTube doesn't like give your video more than 200 views. Like, there's not really a whole lot more you can do. But the videos, like, you can on the lives, you can go there, you can stay longer, you can do more products, like, and you can do it day after day after day. And and TikTok does seem to reward the consistency and the effort with the lives versus rewarding the effort in the videos, if that makes sense.
100%. Yeah, I think that's like with videos, you can make really like I'm sure that there's just videos out there that people have never seen that could have been viral videos that would have done really, really well. And that's not to say like it's bad to do videos. I think videos are amazing. And if you can do well with videos, then I think you should absolutely do it. I have not been,
Mhm.
blessed with that yet. So lives have always just been like, hey, this is consistent. I know that if I put in the work, I perfect my craft, I get the, the right product, the right script, that type of thing. I just know it's going to make me money. And it seems like that's kind of been your experience too. So
Yeah.
I think like the best way to look at it is like lives is just like how you make your money every single day. And then videos are just like, that's just bonus money. Like you're
Totally.
cashing lotto tickets, right? So every once in a while, one of those lotto tickets is going to hit. You're going to make a decent amount, or you could make an insane amount of money with those videos. But it's like with lives, you just kind of know exactly what to expect once you kind of get into the groove there, which is my favorite part.
Exactly. You described it perfectly. It's exactly right. Yep.
Yeah, well, those are somebody else's words. I'm just regurgitating them. So whoever said that, shout out to them. I don't know who it was. Probably multiple people have said that before. And then, so you basically started going live from the beginning, and then, I mean, was your first live you made $100 in 20 minutes or 30 minutes? The
Uh-huh.
very first live was She Legit.
Yep.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
So that was like I caught the bug. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
was like, this is kind of crazy. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, especially day one, because most people do not make $100 on their first live, even if they go live for a couple of hours, right? It's like, and I know that product had super high commissions and it was selling really well at that time because I was
Mm-hmm.
doing that product for that reason. So it was
Mm-hmm.
awesome. So I guess kind of fast forwarding now, what has been the most that you've made in a single day from going live?
Yeah. It was after I started with Live Academy and talked with you and everything. And you were you're going to be there. You're going to be making $200 to $500 an hour. I just know it. And I was like, I don't like that just seemed like crazy to me. And it was probably like within the next week and you're so supportive and you were like on my live. It was a Saturday morning. I was like planning on going on for like an hour and a half, and you actually got on, you said it's on flash sale. Like I still didn't know what I was really doing with this product, and I didn't even know like I could click into the product and actually see the prices. I was just so like laser focused on like answering comments and like not wanting to push a button and screw everything up. And all of a sudden, like I think it was, you told me it's on flash sale, it's like half off right now. And I was just, I honestly, I think it was my own like genuine excitement, like, oh my gosh. And I think it came across because all of a sudden, like the viewership went through the roof. And I ended up at the end of the live, when I clicked off the live, I stayed on for like 4 hours. I had no voice left. I was so excited. I was answering all the questions. And at the end of the live, I had made $1,300 in commission. And by the end of the day, because still sales will, people don't maybe check out when you're still in the live. By the end of the day, I had made over $1,500 in commission that day. And one Saturday morning was that's been my biggest. I've come close since then, but that was the biggest single commission day on a live.
That's awesome. I'm sure that was a great Saturday. You're like, I may be exhausted, but I feel amazing. I just made 15 or, right after $1,300 and then by the end of the day,
Yeah.
$1,500. So it's like, I'm going to enjoy my Saturday afternoon at this point. Cause I remember that day too, cause I was on your live and I remember you talking about the price. And I'm like, it's actually way less than that. I should probably just let her know because she's saying it's this and it's actually way less because it had just apparently gone on flash sale.
Mm-hmm.
But that just goes to show, right? Like you said, you got so excited when you found out the price was lower. And I
Yeah.
think that like enthusiasm and that genuine like passion really comes through to the people that are on your lives. And I think that is just like kind of a nugget right there, right? So many people kind of miss that little part because they just want to jump on whatever product is, popular at the time. When you actually picked a product that wasn't even really that popular yet, at least on
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, I don't know about elsewhere. And because you liked it and it's something that you were passionate about. And when you found out it had gone on sale, you were just so enthused that people could really feel that. Plus, obviously, having that discounted price just gives people another reason to go ahead and pull the trigger on making a purchase. So that's awesome. I
Yes.
think you're definitely going to break that record in the near future again. So I'll look forward to seeing that post, or if you don't want to post it in the chat,
Yes.
at least message
Yes.
me and let me know.
I
So
will definitely.
yeah. And then it sounds like you've come close. So it's not like it was just a one-off thing where it's like, one day just did really well. Then the other days it's like a fraction of that, right?
Right. And it's kind of like one of those things too. It's like all of a sudden, like you'll make, be on a live and you'll make, hundreds of dollars, which prior to that would have been amazing. And then you kind of feel like, oh, wow, I didn't make as much. And it's like, because you just keep getting better and you keep raising the bar that you know, $1,000 day or whatever. Like again, I've been on vacation. It's been summer vacation, and I was still having $600 days on just videos. Like, so it's like I know a lot of people like have been on the podcast and are in Live Academy, just are solely like they really are exclusively like live hosts, doing
Mm-hmm.
live TikTok. I still like I love Live Academy because I'm also part of Social Army and I do both the videos as well as Live Academy. So I get all those resources by being a part of Live Academy. And I actually, one of my most viral videos, and it's still viral right now, was a video from the case studies in Social Army that basically I just replicated with a different product, and it has over 1 million views. Like, and it's still every day just sends me money. Like, so like I do like that, maybe because um I like having that passive as well as, that live income at the same time. Like that combination to me is just so exciting because I like, like like making money while I sleep too. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who doesn't, right? Who doesn't want to just look at their phone after not, doing anything TikTok Shop related at noon and be like, oh, I've already made 300 or 400 bucks. I think in a
Mhm.
perfect world, like everybody TikTok Shop affiliates will do both lives and videos, right? Like because maybe one's not going super well, but the other is, or vice versa, or maybe they're both doing really well, and you're just like, I know it's probably hard to go live if you have a video that's just making you a ton of money, but but having both of those things I think is awesome, and that's one of the awesome things about Social Army is so many of the people that have videos go viral in there. They'll just post a video example for everyone to see, and everyone knows exactly how much they've made, and they'll say, yeah, just go copy this style. Maybe it's with the same product, maybe use the format for a different product, but it's super cool to see that when somebody posts a video, and then you see other people like, yeah, I just copied Bryce's hook or so and so's hook or whatever, and my video also went viral. So that's awesome. That's awesome. I
Yeah.
definitely need to up my video game for sure.
And
Um,
and I think that for me, it's like I've never been like, oh, I have to do it like, some people are like, I have to do faceless or you have to like do camera. Like I just kind of like do whatever kind of hits me that day kind of thing.
yeah.
And so I've had face to camera videos go pop off. I've had faceless ones pop off. I mean, I just kind of like I'm experimenting. Like the whole thing is to me is just like one big experiment.
Oh, 100%. I mean, everyone is still figuring out TikTok Shop. I think TikTok Shop is still figuring out TikTok Shop. So, like you said earlier, it's the Wild West, and I think as time goes on, things will start to kind of become more clear in terms of how everything works. But that's one of the great things too about just collaborating with everybody, people like yourself, other people in Social Army, Live Academy. We all kind of pick up little nuggets here and there that we can share with each other and all kind of benefit and grow from it, which is awesome. So okay, so you've been. How long ago did you join Live Academy? I think it was like pretty shortly after we launched.
It was. So it was right around, I think, the beginning or middle of June. Is that right when you launched?
Yeah, we launched June 12th, so it's right
Yep.
around there. Yep. Okay.
So it was like I've been in other like TikTok creator shop, groups before, and like one of my things that I'm not good at is I will join. I buy stuff all the time. I love buying, and I will join groups. You know what I mean? And I was in some other groups, and I was cooking dinner, and I had my phone up, and you were on a live talking about Live Academy, and for some reason, it stopped my scroll. I started listening to what you were saying because I was like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I really need to learn how to do this live thing. Like, I need some help with it. And I was in another group, and they didn't have, like, they were more video focused, not live focused. So I knew
Hmm.
that that wasn't the group to teach me about live. And you were really talking about it. And I remember you were talking about, like, you were sharing so much and really giving like real answers in the live. Like, I texted you, or, I commented, like, what do you mean by being consistent? What's that mean? And like, you answered my question on the live, like with a real answer, not like, well, join Live Academy and I'll teach you. You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
actually told me,
Yeah.
like, when I say consistent, I mean like every day with the same product. Like, you were like very upfront. And I was like, oh, well, if he's telling me this and I'm not even part of it, I think that this guy might be who I'm looking for. And I texted you because, like, there was like a code, a thing, because I don't even know if you had quite yet opened. Maybe it was like the first couple days of it. And I texted you, DM'd you on TikTok, and I signed up that night. And it truly, like, the next time I went live, I made my money back, like the very first time. And it was really about, watching the modules inside Live Academy, having those conversations, and I don't know if it was like, the information was really good. And so I really focused on my products and that scripting and like helping me like think about those kinds of things that I just hadn't been. I'd been more winging it. So that really did help. And from, like, it was like the best business decision was by far joining Live Academy. Like, it helps me so much.
Well, I'm super glad to hear that. Obviously, that's the goal. And one thing too that I've noticed with a lot of people, like the information, the training, all that stuff, is really good. But I've also heard just a lot of people say like it's just kind of given them the perspective that they need to kind of like see how you can be successful with lives. I think some people come into it either thinking, I'm going to make $1,000 a day overnight, or I don't think this is possible, but well, let's just at least give this a try. So I'm glad the training was super helpful. And like, I knew the first time I saw you going live, I was like, yeah, she's going to crush it. I think just like a couple tweaks here and there, and she's like going to do amazing, which you already are. And if you don't mind sharing with us, so you've been in Live Academy now for basically 2 months, what's called about 2 months. How much have you made, I guess, from lives since you've been in Live Academy?
So that to date,
Mm-hmm.
I've made $17,100 in commission in 2 months
That's awesome.
from being in Live Academy. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I just did the numbers. I was like, just from lives. So
Okay.
that was exciting. Yes.
Yeah. And I know you just got back from, was it a 1 or 2 week vacation?
2 week vacation.
2 week
Yes.
vacation. So it's not like you've been
Yeah.
going live every single day for the last 2 months.
No. And my hard thing was like, when I started this, I'm not gonna do it on Sundays. Like, that's my family day.
Yeah.
That's my get up, go to church. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just what I do. And I'm not gonna give that up. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not like I do it every single day. That was just a promise I made to myself. But yeah, but I've also been away for 2 weeks. So it has been like, and I think it's the learning, it's your leading, it's Drew, it's the whole Live Academy, but it's like just the camaraderie beside you, because we're all like just sitting in our offices with our phones. But yet there's so much support. Like, it's amazing when you're on the live and then you've got other people within Live Academy that are popping in your live and helping you out. And it's not competitive. It's just so supportive. And that's what I love about Live Academy, is the members and, the coaches. Like, everything is really, really amazing. And it's so supportive, because it can get lonely and discouraging. Like, I know we all talk about big numbers and that sounds really good, but there are days when I'm just like, gosh, nothing seems to be working. Or, you have a good day and then you have a bad day. But when you have that perspective, like you said, with the other people, like, yeah, some days you're good, some days are bad. And you just keep going, and you might have a bad day, but someone else has a really good day. And it's like, okay, back at it tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. And we all like, I think the cool thing about the people that are in the group is that we all just want to see each other win because, We all rise up together, right? And there's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days. But I think like as we do this more and more, the bad days, it's all relative, right? The bad days aren't actually that bad, relatively speaking. They're just not as good as the good days. And it just kind of starts to slowly do this, right? And kind of creep up. But that's amazing. 17,000, you said $17,500 in 2 months. Is that right?
Yes.
17,500 in 2 months. Plus, I know you're obviously making money with the videos too. So, and that's the cool thing too with TikTok Shop, right? Like you said, I'm not doing Sundays. Like that's my day. That's church. That's family. That's the Sunday, right? The traditional Sunday. And that's the beauty of TikTok Shop is you can do that. You don't have to. It's you get to make that choice. It's not made. The choice is not made for you. So that's absolutely amazing. And I'm glad to see you crushing it. I know that you're going to be doing $17,500 in a month. It's just a matter of time because I've seen like your skill and your talent and how well you apply yourself. So I'm super excited to see kind of what you do in the future. I guess if you had to give people out there, whether they're brand new, just getting started in TikTok Shop, or maybe they've been doing it for a while, and just not seeing the results that they want to see yet, I guess what's one or two pieces of advice that you would say to them?
Yeah, one is don't give up. I mean, the only way you're going to fail at this is if you quit.
Yeah.
You just don't quit. And if you need to take a couple days and like reset and just put it down, then put it down. It's not going anywhere. And then pick yourself up and just experiment. Like I don't take it so seriously, but yet have a strategy. Like treat it like a business, but don't think like it's like I don't know. Like that's been my piece of advice is like I'm really serious about my business. I love working within TikTok. I think it's an amazing opportunity. I feel so blessed that we have the ability to do this from home. It's like my dream job. Like I told you before, like my dream was to be like a QVC host when I was a kid because I think my grandmother, I'm in my 50s. So like I growing up, like that's what grandma had on her television set, all the time was QVC. Like I want to be a cute, and I get to do that like from my home, like and interact with people. And if you want to do it, but you feel like just know yourself. Like if you're going to be really critical and hard of yourself, join Live Academy and surround yourself with people because like you said, like we lift each other up because it's not easy to do by yourself. Like, and when you don't know, you don't know. And with Live Academy and the coaches and everyone else in there is, I think, surrounding yourself with the right people and having really good information to go by, like, and having that consistency, like that is the winning formula. Like right there on TikTok, like and yes, like you'll help with product selection and scripting and kind of the nuances of actually, becoming a better TikTok Shop creator and TikTok Shy live host. But like, there's so much more than just the technical part of like what button to push or what time to go live or whatever. I think it is like that's what's so invaluable about Live Academy is the people and the just that whole of keeping your head in the game the right way and the right attitude.
Could not agree more. And I think like what you said, right? You cannot lose or fail. The only way to lose or fail at TikTok Shop as an affiliate, whether you're doing lives or videos, is just simply by quitting. And we've seen it so many times where people have basically, what some would consider fail for a long period of time. And then all of a sudden they just see this massive success is because they just keep chipping away. And I think that's one of the really cool things about our group is that we have a lot of people in there that are just not quitters. They simply refuse to quit. And a lot of them have already started taking off, and some like are just starting out on their journey, right? And then we have people that have seen massive success as well. So we kind of have this full spectrum of experiences where we can all kind of learn from each other. And I think it's been absolutely amazing. Which, by the way, you guys, if you're watching this video and you want to join Live Academy, there is a link down below. If you're just looking to join Social Army, start learning how to do videos, there's you can use that same link and just select the Social Army option. Or if you want to join Live Academy, learn from Bridget, learn from myself, Drew, all the other awesome members in there, you would just hit that link and select the Live Academy option for that. But Bridget, I think you've shared like some awesome knowledge with us today, and you provided a ton of value. It's just been cool to kind of hear your story and your experience, kind of how you got started with TikTok Shop, how you got started with lives, and just kind of the progression that you've seen then. Is there any other I guess piece of advice that you would like to give to maybe somebody that's brand new or just getting started? Like, where, if today was day one for you and you have the knowledge you do now, what would you say to somebody that they're like, hey, I'm thinking about getting started with TikTok Shop, or maybe they've already gotten started and they're just really kind of get going?
Yeah. I honestly, like, again, love Live. I would say just join Live Academy. Again, you're going to get all the information that you need. You're going to get that confidence boost because you're going to get the support that you need. And like, I don't think now, like, there's never a better time to do something than doing it yesterday than today, than right now. Like, yeah, we could have all done something yesterday, but do it today. Like Q4 TikTok Shop. I mean, if you join now, you're going to be able to be integrated in Live Academy, have all the information, and you truly will be ready for Q4 TikTok Shop of 2024. I just think the potential is so huge for even someone who's brand new, who like you and I didn't even have a TikTok Shop account or a TikTok account a few months ago. Like, you can, really see success in Q4. I think that this is where we're going to see such a huge amount of people making real gains in Q4 on TikTok Shop. But it's like, you don't have all day. Like, do it now. Like, that's what I would just say is just do it now. Like, invest again. I know it's a little bit of an investment, but like, you'll see how much value is in that Live Academy. And I would just love for people to like watch this video and feel compelled to join and then write us back and be like, I did it. Like, I believed in myself enough to make that one-time investment. Cause if I'm not mistaken, like, they can join, and if they don't like it, they can quit. Like, they're not locked in to like
No.
a long-term contract, like
Yeah.
you can join if you're like, you know what, I did it, like, this isn't for me. You can like quit the membership, like, you're not locked in. But if you feel like maybe this is something you might want to do, and if you don't want to be face to camera, you can do it faceless or whatever. Like, they teach you everything in here. Like, I just am so passionate about people like living up to their fullest potential. And if this is something they feel like would help out their family, get through the holidays and pay some bills, or they just want to do it because they've always wanted to be a QVC host. like, it's never too late to give it a try. Like, that's just go for it.
Yeah, I love that. And I hope one day we have somebody on this podcast that saw, the podcast that we're making now, right? It's like, I started because of Bridget. I watched her video on YouTube and she just inspired me to take action. And now here I am on the podcast. I think that would just be so cool. And I'm sure that's going to happen. And then I'd also love to do a follow-up, Bridget, with you, have you back on in 3-6 months and just kind of see, where you're at in your journey, because I see like a super bright future for you. And I know like the whole QVC host thing, that's just going to become bigger and bigger as time goes on with TikTok Shop. So I think you'd make a phenomenal QVC host. You're already a great live host. And I just want to say thank you for being a part of the community and all the value that you've shared there. And also for coming on the podcast and all the value in your story that you've shared here with us today. So really appreciate you coming on.
Yes, absolutely. And one more thing, I don't want to forget. One thing that I do think, and I was just sharing this with my husband last night, I think that what made a big difference in my success on TikTok Shop Live is with Academy is I'm notorious for being like a social media lurker. Like I don't really comment. I don't really do. And I was like, when I joined Live Academy, I was like, you know what? I'm going to like really be participatory. I'm going to like be in the chats. I'm going to be chatting it up. And I really think that made a difference. Like just again, go all in. If you like join Live Academy and go all in and be like vocal and go in the chats, because I really do think that that's made a big difference for me in my success, not just being in the academy, but really participating in in our group meetings, weekly meetings, and in the chats and things like that. So if you're going to do it, like just go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, it's crazy because the people that we see that have the most success, it seems like, are the ones that participate in everything the most. They're on the calls, they're asking questions, they're putting stuff in the chat. So I think that's a huge thing, right? If just dive in and just become a part of the community, everyone's super friendly, super helpful. And I
Yeah,
know like I think I messaged you, and maybe it was like last week. I was like, I haven't really seen Bridget. Like, what's going on? Like she's usually around. And of course you were on vacation. So I'm like, all right. And she didn't just disappear on us. So it's definitely
right.
good to have you back. And again, thank you for coming on and sharing just everything that you've shared. I'm super excited to release this episode because I think it's going to really resonate with a lot of people.
I hope so. I hope so. And thank you. And thank Drew and thank like the whole Social Army Academy. I'm so glad I was cooking dinner that night. I stopped my scroll. I listened to you. You convinced me to join Live Academy because it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work, but like it really is been such a great experience. And I'm so glad that you asked. I mean, I'm very proud that you asked me to be part of this because I feel like if I can help one other, mom in their 50s, I mean, because I think a lot of times people are like, oh, I'm too old to do something like that. Like, again, just like if that's something you feel like you can do, like the group is so inviting that you and you guys know so much. Like, it's just such a great group. So I appreciate you asking me to be part of it. I'm so glad that I am part of Live Academy, and thank you for the opportunity to be on the podcast today. And I will take you up on that offer, and I'll be back in a few months. And I can't wait to tell you what I've been up to.
Yeah, can't wait to have you. Thanks again, Bridget.